Hey, what's up?
What's up? I'm just gonna give you a little introduction, then we can get started.
Sweet, sounds good.
So welcome to the Asterysk podcast. This is episode 2, and my name is Rodney. And in this show, I interview really cool people who are super passionate and specialize in whatever they really enjoy doing. And today we have a really special guest. We have Myles Ross, the other half of Eric and Myles. So please introduce yourself, and yeah, we can get started.
Yeah, I'm Miles. I am here because I have been exploring for a really long time and just kind of going around Minnesota and other places, just checking out all the places that people don't usually see. So I'm a photographer and videographer, and that's pretty much all there is to me.
Yeah, I love all your stuff. They're so cool.
Thanks,
Uh,
man. I appreciate that.
So, how long have you been urban exploring for? And tell us the story how you first got into it.
Well, it kind of started back in like freshman year of high school, where me and my friends just kind of like were hanging out, and we would find like these unnamed buildings that were just like abandoned and kind of like left to rot. And we're like, this is really cool. Like, there's something special to this. So we kept looking for like bigger and crazier places. And by like junior year, our entire like YouTube channel was centered around like how many like really cool places can we find and kind of like document.
Cool.
So
Uh,
yeah,
I remember the first time I went urban exploring, I was just biking downtown,
yeah,
and then I went to Dinkytown, and I
mm.
just see this big building that says United Crushers, and
Yeah,
then there's like a tower, a really big tower next to it. It's called Pig's Nuts, and I
mm.
found a way to get in, and it was just crazy that there's just this stuff just laying out around here. Uh,
Exactly right. It's
so
so sad that there used to be so much more though, and it all just
yeah,
like wiped out, you know?
we're gonna get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
So you're the other half of Eric and Myles. So how long have you
hmm
known Eric for?
I've known Eric since I was 2 years old. Like we've been best friends my entire life. So it, we kind of like decided to start making videos, like eighth grade, and it was just like really, really stupid shit. Um, just like the most random stuff you could think of. We were just like walking in the woods and all that. And then we're like, okay, this is really stupid. And we went to Minnehaha, and we like went all the way back to like the end of the place where that I don't even know the name of it anymore. But that one tunnel that leads, I don't know, it's like a brick dead end wall, but there's lots of cool grass in there. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. You probably do.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about
Yeah.
right there.
Okay, cool. But we found that tunnel, and we started like going back and exploring more, and we just like our cell phone flashlights, and we were like, whoa, this is really, really cool. Like we should do this more often. And I think that's like kind of the experience that kicked off like really wanting to dive into it more.
Yeah, talking about those tunnels, those water drainage tunnels, it's
Mm,
so crazy the amount of time people like put into that, creating
yeah.
that art.
Mm.
Uh, I remember like there's art on the top part of the tunnel too. Like how do you even like get up there? It's just
I know
crazy.
it's insane. These people are so dedicated. I mean, like all these local graffiti artists, like Gert and like TCB, Static, same people, but whatever. Just like a few of the ones that I know that just love what they do.
You know who Efoop is?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I see that everywhere.
yeah. The face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always cool.
So are there any what's your source of inspiration, not only in urban exploring, but just like in photography and cinematography and stuff?
Um, a lot of my inspiration comes from people that do lots of street photography and like documenting uh, the more urban side of cultures kind of around the world. And that's kind of my niche that I am exploring more often these days is street photography, because that's something that I'm more passionate about. I know lots of people like nature photography and all these different kinds of things, but I think kind of where I fit in is the urban side of photography, and like movement and culture inside of it.
Yeah, for sure. Try to capture like a hustling, bustling street, what's happening in the moment type of deal.
Yeah. Mm. All that
Okay.
stuff. Different angles that people don't see usually.
Yeah. I know a guy who's really interested in that, and you know who Donnie is? A guy named
Uh,
Donnie.
what's his what's his Instagram handle?
It's a dot me.
I don't think so.
Okay. He's based off of Minnesota, and he's really big in street photography.
Cool.
Uh, so what's your favorite all-time urbex spot in Minnesota?
Man, that's so crazy because, dude, it stretches from like all the cool like inner workings of like Hams and like the Sandstone School in Duluth or near Duluth, and
Let's say your top five. Your top five.
oh man, I could go top one. And everyone's
Okay.
gonna be like, "Oh, you're like so lame for liking such a popular spot." But dude, UC kicked it all off for me. When I saw that building, I was like, "This is insane!" Like, it's just so massive, and it's still here. And there's so many stories of just it getting closed, and then people finding a new way to reopen it, and then someone putting a giant metal plate on it, and then me and my friends going out in the middle of the night to take an angle grinder to all the bolts. And
That was you guys?
yeah, that was
Oh my
that was Eric, Ethan, and I.
Oh,
Yeah, that was a fun 2 nights. That was wild. But yeah, I've got a lot of stories at UC. We slept on top of it one time.
I saw that
Listened
video.
to oh yeah, that was fun, and got to like made for some cool pictures. But I'd have to say UC is like definitely like my favorite because of just all the memories I've had there, I guess.
Yeah, man, you can see the building from the highway even. It's
Yeah,
just
I know.
crazy.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, they sealed it up with a metal grate and they put like tar on it and everything. And
Yeah,
there used to be, I think they blew it up now, so there's like a bunch of
they
concrete inside
did.
of it.
There's like giant concrete slabs just like covering the whole. It's wild
Some guy's gonna find a way back in
for
somewhere.
sure. They'll always find a new way in. It's absolutely insane.
Going back to that too, pig's nuts. You know how you get it through the windows in between the
Mhm.
two buildings?
Yeah.
They boarded it all up with like wood,
Oh,
but
recently?
it's been quite some time since I've been there.
Okay.
But the last time I've been there, they boarded it up with some wood. So some guy decided to tie a piece of rope on the stairs and
Yeah.
just climb up.
Oh
It's
my
just
gosh. Wait, climb up the side?
yeah. There's like the rope is attached to the stairway, and you just climb
Oh,
up.
wow.
So it's crazy. It's really high up.
That's insane. Props to
So
him.
do you ever urban explore outside of Minnesota or the Midwest?
Um, I mean, we just kind of, me and my friends all just went on like a backpacking trip to uh South Dakota, and we didn't do much urban exploring there, but it was just mainly like days of grueling hiking. But there were some cool things that we found there, like small buildings. But for the most part, I tend to keep it inside Minnesota because everything's so closely knit here. I'd love to get outside of Minnesota. I know there's awesome places in like Michigan and Chicago and all that, but no, I usually keep it in Minnesota.
Oh, okay. Nice. The heat is like in some kind of is in like Gary, Indiana, or like
Yeah,
Chicago.
Gary, dude. You
It's
would never
crazy.
expect there to be so many cool places in Gary, Indiana.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the Minnesota urbex community. So, you
Okay.
know, have you ever met Free For All or know them personally?
I've never been in the same room with them, but uh, when we kind of like first started the channel, like maybe a year into it, um, I think we got some like backlash from their fans or community because they thought we were like trying to copy them or something. And I didn't really know them when I got into the scene. I knew about like the older people like before like all the different forums with like uh, man, what's your name? They were huge exploring Minnesota, and they just made all these posts about it. I can't remember right now, but if I remember, I'll get back to it. But I mean, Ethan Clerk and all them. No, can't say I've met them personally, but I've talked to them a few times on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, like a lot of your, especially your older, like 2017, 2018 videos have like a half and half like dislike ratio.
Oh yeah.
Like they're like hating on it. Just
Uh yeah. That that was a really funny time because like the Instagram people and like the UER community was just like they band together like the ultimate clash of the titans to just like try to take down our videos because they really did not like it. They're like, you're exposing these spots, and I'm like, I don't think I've ever posted an entrance. Like, it's just a place. No one's gonna know how to get in.
yeah, for sure. Are you on the UER forums pretty often?
Not anymore. I used to be like a year and a half ago, but it is probably the strangest community of 35-year-olds I've met in my entire life because because it's like okay, we had like a bunch of controversy with them. We made like a whole video about it and never released it, just like reading off comments from the UER forum, and it was all like death threats, like these guys are awful, like terrible. There's this one big thing. We had a friend that was in a cave one time, and there was a bunch of bats, and he hit his vape and he breathed it into the bat, which is really stupid. Like that was really dumb. But it ended up in the video. We forgot to take it out, and um, there was just like tons of backlash on that in the UER forum. Like they were like, these are endangered species, and they were all mad. And they were like, we're gonna kill you because you could be killing bats. And I'm like, it wasn't us. It was this other guy. But we don't encourage animal cruelty, obviously. Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, the code of conduct is like you go to the urbex spot without leaving a trace, or you never review any entrances,
Right.
and yeah, they're really OC about that. But I feel like what you do justifies for whatever you're recording because it's really cool cinematography and like you're like telling a story. Uh, what else? And plus, like with the one day that like it gets destroyed, like you have it on record. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But just more importantly, like who cares? You just gotta do you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I suppose.
uh,
Yeah.
let's see. You referenced it earlier, but about the OG guys based off of Minneapolis, Action Squad. Was that
Yeah.
what you were
Action
talking?
Squad. That's what I was talking about. Yeah. I just like blanked the name, but
Yeah. You continue. Continue.
oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Action Squad. They were like those were people that we looked up to for like a very long time. We were like, whoa, this is so cool. And we would get to the spots that they go to, and they described it in like they would describe these spots in like crazy detail. Like they were the first ones to actually explore them for the most part. So I imagine it seemed like totally insane to them at the time. But like we'd get there and like it awesome spots and all that, but it wouldn't be like as dangerous as they made it seem, or like as like risky, but like still like mad respect for all the people that were a part of Action Squad, because they pretty much made urbexing in Minnesota.
Yeah, a lot of their spots are like demolished. The
Yeah.
MSP rec scene is like used to be so big, but,
Hmm.
like it's all like demolished now.
Yeah.
I used to like when I used to get bored at night, just read all their like logs of their adventures.
Yeah. They're so interesting. It's so cool.
Um, what am I gonna say? Urban exploring in Minnesota in the summer is like a vibe because I'm gonna give you a bit of a scenario and tell me if you relate it to it or not.
Hmm.
So it's a hot summer day, early afternoon. You're in the group chat telling all your boys that there's this cool spot that you've been planning to go to for a while, and you get all your gear ready in your backpack, your camera, your respirators and stuff. Everybody fits into one car, and then you drive down 35 West, 35 East Highway to either Minneapolis or St. Paul, see the city skyline, and then you start exploring. Like
Hmm.
that's
That
the vibe.
that is like the feeling. Like that's the feeling that probably most people can relate to, and it's it's like some of the best memories are just like made in that car before you actually go to the place that you're going
Yeah.
to, and then afterwards too. It's like you keep retelling everything that happened and like looking back on that memory, and that's just that's like really special.
Um, I say for my favorite urban exploring spot of all time, Minnesota is Hams.
Hmm. Oh, nice.
That place is massive.
Yeah,
Uh,
enormous.
it actually used to be like 2 times bigger. Oh wait, you're lagging right now.
Oh,
Let's
am I?
see.
Hold up. That's weird because my Wi-Fi is totally fine. Hold on. I'll try to fix that real quick.
Your screen's frozen right now.
Is it back?
Okay, yeah, it's good, it's good.
Okay, sweet.
So Hams actually used to be like twice as big, uh, but they demolished like the other side. So it's like even though they demolished the other side, it's still really big. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely insane. My grandpa used to work there because he put all the tile in on that floor where all the giant vats used to be, and he was telling me stories about it. He's like, we used to just like be able to grab beer off the line as we were working, putting all this tile down. I'm like, that's so cool to think about. Like, he was in there like before it is in the state that it is today, like when everything was running and working, like functioning. Super cool.
Um, Getting in is like an adventure in itself.
Oh yeah.
Um, like there's like a smaller building under the side, and there's like the main big building, and you have to go through all these tunnels and like traverse
Hmm.
your way through. It's like
Yeah,
Indiana Jones adventure.
for real. You gotta like squeeze through all those steam tunnels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you wear masks when you were going in there?
Um, no, I don't think we ever wore any masks. I mean, I know there's asbestos and stuff, but I guess we just didn't know that at the time, and then we just kind of made a habit of leaving our masks at home for the most part,
Okay.
which is probably not
Yeah.
the safest thing.
Okay. So we're gonna move on to the next thing, and
Mhm.
the concept of liminal spaces and like
Mhm.
how it's like urban exploring. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna explain to the audience members what a little bit of what liminal spaces are. So it's like a seemingly normal spot, established location, but then something seems slightly off about it. A good example is like we were talking about this yesterday, like a foreign airport, it's just all empty, or
Yeah.
like a mall, an empty mall with the lights on. It's just like where's everybody else in the mall? It's just creepy.
Hmm.
So have you ever felt like that weird vibe when you're exploring?
Oh, for sure. Um, there's this one strip mall that's like totally abandoned. There's like a cigar shop, like a vet, and just all these office buildings, and then a comedy club at the very end. And it's along this highway that I forget. But most recently, I experienced it there when I was in the very end section of the strip mall with the comedy club, because you have to pass over each roof of the building to get into the different sections. And standing in the middle of the comedy club, totally empty, everything full of dust, I could be there at like any period in time, and the feeling just like of uncertainty, like this could be anywhere. There's nothing signifying what day it is, what year it is, what season it is. It's just, I'm here, no one else is here, but people used to be here. And it's just such a weird feeling, just like hollow, but eerie, I guess. And then comfortable at the same time, which is super weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know how you feel.
Mhm.
Something I showed you, I'm not sure if you watched it or not, but it's like how this process of making Hamm's beer is made.
Mhm.
It shows like guys pouring stuff into the vats in like the washing rooms and stuff. And
Mhm.
one thing I really want to do in terms of like cinematography was to frame a shot of the commercial of where they're like pouring
Mhm.
stuff into the vat or something, or the equipment. Find that
Yeah.
exact same spot at Ham's Brewery and have like a before and after.
Oh
Like
man.
what happened then is this is like 2020. I don't know how else to explain it. It's
Yeah.
kind of hard to explain.
No, I know
But
exactly what you're saying.
yeah,
That'd be super cool. I hadn't thought of that. That's awesome.
yeah. If I can pull it off, it'd be really sick.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna tell a little bit of story of one of those spaces.
Cool.
Well, so I went on a road trip with my friends 200 to 300 miles west of Minnesota to go to an abandoned high school, and
Mhm.
I just go to this chemistry classroom, and like everything's all intact, all the desks are there, the chemistry books, and just like where's everybody, you know what I mean? And just this eerie feeling that people had a actual high school experience in this place, and now it's just like all run down and like abandoned. Um,
Yeah.
like you said, that eerie feeling that you have, it's like comfortable and like, but yet creepy at the same time.
Hmm.
So, yeah, it was crazy. When I was at the school, there was actually yearbooks there. It closed
Oh,
down in like,
really?
yeah. It closed down in like 2009, but they still, for some reason, I found the yearbook that was in the 80s or 90s, and you see these like bad color graded photos of guys with mullets with big glasses, and it was just it was just a sight to see.
Yeah.
And
Wow, that's really cool.
yeah, uh, let's see here. What's the craziest urbex experience that you've ever had? That just like if everything went wrong, then it went wrong, or like you just have a really awkward encounter with somebody.
Oh man. Um, yeesh. I don't know if I've ever had like an experience that went totally south. Like, oh, actually, okay, hold up. I do. I just remembered. Um, so I guess you could call it urbexing, but it's shying away from like the abandoned side of it. So I might out myself a little here, but about last year, yeah, exactly last year, a couple days ago, me, Eric, our friend Ethan, and like Eric's brother, and then someone else, all all crammed in our car and drove and met up at. Actually, Eric and I had just filmed a wedding before that, so we met people at the parking lot near Fauché with the intention of doing Fauché. And we got to the top, got past like the front door or whatever, and then got to the 25th floor to get back up to the roof area, which it's not actually locked. It's not locked up there. You don't have to knife anything. It's crazy. So we got to the roof, slipped through those bars, got up, and one of the wildest experiences of my life was climbing that spire all the way to the top and just like looking out around the city and feeling like the wind in my face, like blowing through. And that was like probably one of the coolest experiences of my entire life. But right after that was probably one of the scariest experiences of my entire life because we decided to get down and then move on and do this massive crane that's been up in Minneapolis on the Pillsbury side for years, like an entire year. It just recently came down because the building took a really long time to build. But we did that crane that was sitting right in front of St. Anthony, the sign. And we got to the very top through the building, and all of a sudden we hear this like muffling, like down below us on the ground level. And we look down, and there's people walking around in the construction zone, and we're like, what's going on? Then we look to our left, like of the people, and right outside the gate of the construction zone, 4 squad cars had pulled up. And we're like right under us. And we were freaking out. Like we were at the top of the very top of the crane. And we're like, okay, what is going to happen? Like, is one of us going to have to go down and say he did all of it? Like, I was prepared to do it because I was the minor at the time. Everyone else was 18 or older. I was like, okay, I'll have a better time, a better chance with this. But we had like 5 or 6 guys up there. But we decided to wait it out. And we were up there for like an hour, and more squad cars piled in. It got to be like about 7 squad cars that were circling the thing. And we thought we were safe and they were going to leave. And then they shone this massive spotlight right at us, like on top of the crane. They just threw it up there, and we were hiding. Like if the crane's like up here, right? And they're down here, they're shining the spotlight up at that angle. So what we're sitting on is blocking kind of the light shining through, and we were just motionless for about a half an hour, not moving at all. And we were like, it was probably the most uncertain time I've ever felt in urbexing. Like, am I gonna get caught? Like, is something really bad gonna happen? And thankfully, a bar fight struck out across the street.
What?
And the police were like, okay, I don't think there's anything going on here. We've been here for like an hour and a half. And they dipped off and went across the street to this bar or whatever was going on. And then half the squad cars dispersed. And we like, eventually we just kind of like climbed down safely and tried to avoid like stepping where we stepped before to trigger any like motion sensors in the building. And we got away that night, like fine. And that was like probably the craziest experience I've ever had.
I can't even imagine the adrenaline rush that you had.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's a crazy story. It's like a bar fight there to distract you.
I know.
That's
absolutely
insane.
Wild. Like the best luck you could have ever asked for.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually in those sites there's like cameras and like motion sensors and stuff to
Mm,
stop people, especially if you're downtown and just Minneapolis area. It's like just to stop people from like stealing equipment and stuff.
yeah.
So we're about to round up this podcast, and I'm gonna ask you some questions that are traditional to this podcast
Okay.
with every guest that they usually answer. So I'm gonna give you a bit of a scenario. So
Okay.
let's say you're walking down your street at your local Walmart, and
Hmm.
the zombie apocalypse is just about to happen. Everybody's panicking, and
Okay.
you're the first person at Walmart
Hmm.
before everybody else comes in and steals everything. And let's assume that everything is free too, because a zombie apocalypse is about to happen. And
Hmm.
what's the first 5 essential things you're gonna grab before anybody else steals it? You get first come serve, first come first serve.
First come, first serve. You know, they
Yeah,
sell guns at Walmart. They do.
yeah,
So, um, I'm grabbing myself probably just any handgun. I don't want to carry around like a massive rifle or anything like that on my back. It's going to slow me down. So, I'm seeing what I can find in that department. Then, like, survival knife, probably. That's a smart thing to do.
yeah,
I don't know, like small blowtorch maybe. Because I mean, I could choose matches, but like, why choose matches when you could just grab a blowtorch or something? And then what else do you need? Food, of course, you need food. But what kind of food? I could just grab like a 50 pack of ramen and be set with no nutrients whatsoever. But I don't know. How about I just grab like a backpack and then just cram it with as much food as I can, and then I'm heading to the roof because zombies are gonna break out and be doing whatever they do in Walmart because Walmart's probably gonna be the first place to go. I mean, everyone's always there, so you know.
yeah. It's about to be Black Friday, but with zombies.
Yeah, for real.
All right, that's a good choice. Good choice.
Okay. Yeah.
The last guy I interviewed,
Mhm.
most of the things he grabbed were just weapons. He's like, I'm gonna get a
Yeah.
kitchen knife set, uh, uh, even some more knives and a blowtorch. You two said that you guys got a blowtorch as well. So,
Oh, nice.
what are the first 5 things you're gonna grab before everybody comes in and steals everything?
Some kind of weapon. So maybe one of those nice kitchen knife sets. Maybe a blowtorch. Another weapon.
Sweet, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Uh, so where do you see yourself in 5 years, and then where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Man, that's a hard question because
You
it's
don't have
like,
to answer it, but just
mm,
it's a hard question.
oh yeah, for sure. But it's definitely something that's like important to think about because like if that's the direction you want your life to go in, then like that's important to figure out before you like start trying to make it happen. So I'd say in 5 years, I would love to see myself doing photography and cinematography professionally, um, working with projects for some of the larger like parkour teams in like around the world. That's probably more of a longer 10-year thing, but hopefully the connections that I have with people in that community can kind of drive that because that's definitely a passion of mine that I'd like to see pick up and kind of like take off somewhere because I love that movement side. And then probably specifically like film photography because that's what I've been doing recently, like street film photography and all that because it gives off such a nice feel, like actually being like it feels more physical than like digital photography, which is just interesting. But yeah, I'd say just make a name for myself in that kind of community, doing what I love.
Nice. I gotta watch the Modus Project documentary. I haven't seen
Oh
that yet.
yeah. Oh, dude, it's really, really good.
Yeah, I gotta check it out sometime.
Yeah.
So, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, dude,
And
thanks for having me.
we should meet up sometime once things
Oh,
open
for
up. Meet up
sure.
at Fly Academy. Do some
Yeah.
parkour.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Nice.
I didn't. When I was doing research on, like, all I knew was just Eric and Myles, but I was looking like doing some research on you and Eric, and I didn't know that you're pretty knit with the parkour community.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I have been for like a little bit now. Pretty good friends with some of the people in like the MSP community, and that's fun. I love those guys. They're great.
Yeah, they're always like doing crazy stuff at PV.
Yeah.
And then it's insane.
Yeah. Really supportive too. Like not like a closed community whatsoever. Like always really encouraging and like figuring out lines. When I was hanging out with Noah and Ethan Rude for Ethan and I were both trying to get lines for the fight or flight like 10K thing. We wanted to like we both had to drop our lines and it was due that night. So we like went off to like the Wells Fargo Park, like the closed one, and we were both like building lines, and Noah and Ethan were both like giving me like all these ideas and stuff and like different ways I can move, and just like always trying to help me out. And we were like bouncing ideas off of each other, and that was super fun.
How long before we take off? How long have you been doing parkour or just movement in general for?
Well, I have worked at I've worked at gymnastics gym, teaching kids how to do like I've been teaching gymnastics and kind of parkour with like this ninja program that they have for a while.
Oh yeah, Ninja Zone. That's what I do right now.
Nice. That's awesome. But yeah, I was a coach for that for a while, but my gym kind of recently like COVID stuff happened, so I couldn't really go back. And I was teaching there for about a year, but really seriously started getting into parkour about 8 or 9 months ago.
Sweet.
So a little under a year. Yeah.
That's cool. It's a really great community, and you've already discovered it so far. And yeah. Thanks for being on the show, and hope you guys have a nice day with your future endeavors too.
Yeah, thank you so much. You too. And thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
See you later.
Yeah, see ya.